3 UFC fighters known for trash talk. Trash talk is an art form in the UFC, and some fighters have mastered it to a level that captivates fans just as much as their fighting skills. Whether it's to get inside their opponent's head or to hype up a fight, trash talk often plays a huge role in building rivalries and selling tickets. Today we're taking a look at 3 UFC fighters who've become notorious for their verbal jabs as much as their physical ones. From Conor McGregor's infamous insults to Colby Covington's provocations, these fighters have shown that a sharp tongue can be as dangerous as a right hook. Conor McGregor. No list of trash-talking UFC fighters would be complete without mentioning Conor McGregor. Known as the Notorious, McGregor's verbal sparring is legendary, and his quick wit has made him one of the most entertaining figures in combat sports. McGregor's trash talk isn't just about insults, it's calculated psychological warfare. He famously got into the heads of his opponents before fights, most notably during his heated buildups with Jose Aldo and Nate Diaz. In the lead-up to his UFC 194 bout against Aldo, McGregor relentlessly mocked the champion, calling him fragile and mentally weak. This trash talk built so much tension that when they finally fought, McGregor knocked Aldo out in just 13 seconds, a moment that became iconic. McGregor's ability to use his words to fluster his opponents is a key part of his strategy. His feud with Khabib Nurmagomedov also showcased how personal and intense his trash talk could get. Although it didn't pan out in his favor that time, McGregor's mouth has been just as sharp as his left hand, helping him become the UFC's biggest star, Colby Covington. Colby Covington is another fighter whose trash-talking skills have made him infamous in the UFC. Covington, known for his brash persona and outspoken political views, has taken trash talk to a controversial level. He often crosses the line with personal insults, targeting not only his opponents, but also entire fan bases. Covington has embraced his role as the UFC's biggest villain, a persona that's made him a polarizing figure in the sport. His verbal jabs against fighters like Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal, and Tyron Woodley have intensified their rivalries, drawing huge attention to their fights. Covington's trash talk is often provocative, and while many find it distasteful, it's hard to deny that it gets people talking. He's a master of stirring the pot, and his ability to market himself as a hated figure has garnered him main event slots and big pay-per-view numbers. Whether fans love him or hate him, Covington knows how to generate headlines, and his trash talk has played a huge role in his rise to fame. Chael Sonnen. Before Conor McGregor and Colby Covington, there was Chael Sonnen, the original trash-talking king of the UFC. Sonnen's gift of gab helped him become one of the most famous fighters of his time, even though he never won a UFC title. His trash talk was sharp, witty, and often hilarious, earning him the nickname the American Gangster. Sonnen's legendary feud with Anderson Silva elevated both fighters' profiles, with Sonnen continually mocking Silva's heritage, fighting style, and even his fans. Sonnen's trash talk leading up to their first fight at UFC 117 was relentless, but he backed it up in the octagon, dominating Silva for most of the fight before getting caught in a submission late in the 5th round. Sonnen's ability to cut a promo was reminiscent of pro wrestling, and he used his mouth as a weapon to build rivalries and hype up his fights. Even when he was outclassed by his opponents, Sonnen's charisma and trash talk kept him relevant in the UFC. He showed that, in combat sports, being able to entertain fans outside the octagon is just as important as winning inside of it. To this day, Sonnen remains one of the most memorable trash talkers in UFC history. In the UFC, trash talk isn't just about selling a fight, it's about getting into your opponent's head and gaining a mental edge before the first punch is even thrown. Fighters like Conor McGregor, Colby Covington, and Chael Sonnen have shown that sharp words can have a lasting impact on their careers and the sport itself. Their ability to provoke, entertain, and manipulate their opponents with verbal warfare has elevated them to legendary status. While not every fighter resorts to trash talk, these three have proven that it can be a powerful tool both in and outside of the octagon. Their rivalries, promos, and verbal exchanges are just as memorable as their fights, and they've shown that trash talk can make a good fighter a superstar. Who's your favorite UFC trash talker? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns of the UFC's biggest personalities. Stay tuned for more.